Hey folks, in this episode we're going to look at soil a little closer. Yep, stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. We'll put this episode in the garden series, the Homestead gardening series, because I'm going to primarily be talking about soil, and also sometimes I slip up and I say dirt, but we're going to show you the difference between soil and dirt. There is a difference, but we're going to take a real close look through a microscope. Yep. So I'm going to go get a bucket and a spade, and we're going to go collect a specimen from my forest, and then we'll bring it back. We'll put it under the microscope, and I'll show you guys what it really looks like. So I'll be right back, get my spade and a container to collect it in, and we're just going to use the cottage cheese container. We don't need much. Well, I'm out here in my front yard. I chose this spot right here because this is an oak tree. Then next to it we have a pine tree, and over here we have a madrone. So we've got a combination of things that are falling to the ground and decomposing. We've got moss growing on the trees. We've got moss and lichen growing onto the ground, along with some grasses, and plus whatever the tree sheds off naturally. So we're going to just collect right around in here some soil. Now I want to collect primarily just the soil, so just move some stuff off the surface, and I'm just going to dig down, and there's a very shallow layer of soil because something happened here in this little valley that if you go any deeper than that, you end up in clay dirt like that. Dirt and soil. So my soil layer here in this little valley tucked up in the mountains is probably only an inch thick, if that. So historically, this used to be a big lake until some processes of time and water carved out a canyon, and the lake waters dropped to the level of now, which is the creek bed that flows through the valley and drained the valley. I have evidence that this was a lake, especially on the top of my mountain, Misty Mountain in my backyard. Yeah, up on the surface when I was punching holes in the ground, drilling holes for my fence post to set my fence up there, I got nothing but sand, loads and loads of sand. Well, with a little layer of organic material on the surface, but down here on the bottom, this is clay. Kind of indicative of an old lake bed, plus the hard pan rock I've got down where my home sits. Yeah, that's indicative of a lake bed. So we're going to go ahead and take some dirt. I got a combination of dirt and soil in here. And we're going to go ahead and go into the greenhouse, and we're going to look at this through the microscope. Okay, this is a microscope that my wife and I purchased from a thrift shop some years back when we decided to homeschool the kids. We wanted to make sure they get a well-rounded education, especially with the sciences, and so we purchased this microscope. This used to belong to a doctor. His name was on this box, and I found the exact same product on eBay. So you can buy one just like this. This is marked, the doctor's name is right down here. And now I have had this in my collection for quite some time. So let's go ahead and take a look at the soil and take a look at the dirt. I have my specimens right here. This will be the soil right here. And then I've got some dirt down here. We'll just place the dirt over here. Now you notice the difference? There may be some living organisms in here, but primarily dirt is inorganic material. It's rock that has been eroded down into finer particles and silica, which makes your clay compound. So rock is an inorganic material, but the organic material that makes up for the top portion of your soil, the stuff that we see, is the organic material that is sloughed off from the trees, like I explained out in the field. Like the bark, the leaves, the needles, what other organic material that is sloughed off, and also vegetation that grows in there and dies and grows some more and dies. Yeah, that's how soil is built up. So let's take a closer look at the soil. Now I'm going to put a little bit on here, just a little bit. And we're going to slide this under the microscope. And turn this down to its lowest power, and then we'll go in from there. Adjust my mirror. There, that'll do it. Get it into focus. And go down a little bit to the next. And then to the next power. Well, this illustrates what's in the organic surface of the ground on which we walk on. This is what we call soil. It's where the compounds are broken down into finer nutrients for plants to uptake in their root systems. And it's just teeming with life. You got all this microbacteria, and you've got these spores, you've got algae, you've got moss growing in here. There's all kinds of life growing in here. And as they grow, they die. They grow, they die. And then the little munchers will come in and eat them up and break them down even more. That's how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to my worm bin, because there's going to be a colony of microbes that are going to help the worms out with breaking down the nutrients here in my worm bin that I've got in my greenhouse. And this stuff, it probably hopefully break down a little bit quicker, and it'll help the worms too, and give them, if they happen to eat one or two, it'll give them a little bit extra protein to grow and prosper and procreate, and that's what we want. Yeah, I learned the difference between soil and dirt when I took biology in college. And I think I knew that back in high school, though, even junior high. It goes way back then, but I knew that there's a difference between the organic surface and the inorganic surface of the ground on which we walk on. So that concludes this show. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. We're a small, frugal homestead tucked high in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest. I'm enjoying carving out a lifestyle up here and learning how to homestead and learning about my environment around me. Yeah. and what I can cultivate and what my environment can help me with as far as growing better food sources in the way of my plants. Stay tuned to more videos. You could do that by subscribing, then clicking that bell icon that alerts you to the new videos as I do upload them. Smashing that share button and sharing us on your social media platforms helps us out. You can find me on Facebook. I'm under Jerry Hansen on Facebook. Also look for us in Discovery Channel's Homestead Rescue and on Animal Planet. We're occasionally drift on over there too. We have a couple episodes out. Please check out the merchandise I have below. Yeah, click on those merchandise. Hey, if you guys shop on eBay, click on one of those links down below. It takes you to my eBay store, and also you can just go out from there and shop for anything. And it really helps me out because the company, it doesn't cost you any more. It's just an extra step for you. But it really helps me out financially to help get things done here on the homestead and finally wrap things up, like complete the purchasing of the rest of my fruit trees and nut trees so I can get my orchard in this year. Also, please like the channel, like the show, give us a thumbs up, helps the algorithms. Leave a comment or a question. Yeah. Always remember to be safe, and please always be kind. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.